Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Om. Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Om. Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Om. Om Harim Namah. 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 So I'm going to start with a story. There's two stories. The first story is why we're doing this tonight and why I'll be continuing through the winter. One day, I was walking to the barn from the garage. On the way to the barn, halfway, I know the exact spot, this happened. I knew I had to start teaching again. It was time to get back into satsang. It was so funny because this shows you how, after all these years of meditation, you would think I'd be much more advanced. But here's what happened. I stopped. I had no idea where it came from. And I thought, why did I think that thought? I think I actually said, where did that thought come from? Now, after all these years, I should know where that thought came from. But so I disregarded it and thought, well, I'll talk to Rod about it. Walked into the barn, got the gator, went off and did whatever I had to do on the property. I come back in the house and I go to my mail. From my mail is an email from a dear, dear friend of ours. Two, actually, but one email, Claudine, with Susan. I think Susan was also, yeah.
Mentioned.
The
Yeah.
two of them sent me an email, and you know what they said? When's the next satsang? I immediately thought of what we're going to do. I text, no, I WhatsApp Ashley because she's in London and it's already like 8 o'clock at night. So I did it. And the next morning, we put it all together. Stephen and Karen okayed it, and we sent out the email. Now, we're not alone. We're not alone. So, second story. You see the picture? Can everyone see that painting? Good. That's done by Peter Max. who is someone I knew well. I can't say he was my friend by any means, but I knew him well because he brought Swami Satchidananda to the United States. That's how I met him, because of Peter Max. Just today, when I put this up, I have a second story. I didn't know this until I looked at that painting. I've seen this painting many times. He's, we had it at the Institute in New York City on 13th Street. We're not alone. It looks like this dimension is so coarse and so brittle and so thick that it's like we're the only ones on in this particular dimension, but this is only one dimension. There are other dimensions. The Vedas talk about that. We have different bodies. They're finer bodies. There's different dimensions. When I took my monk vows back in 1975, July 1975, a few of us went to the meditation room and spent hours sitting because I experienced for the first time that there's other dimensions. So I went to this place where I was flying through space. I wasn't sleeping. It wasn't a dream. I wasn't actually doing it physically, but I was flying, and I went over this water, and there were mountains, and there were these beautiful, beautiful flowers, and there was so much peace, and there were reflections in the water below. I had that experience. I didn't realize, but he painted that experience. He must have also had that meditation experience. We're not alone. I love that painting. That's cool. Okay, that's second story. So beginnings and endings. I'm finding with meditation, the more that you practice, the clearer your mind is, and the more you're aware how nothing remains the same. For not even a second. Everything's in constant motion. So Rod and I thought, okay, it's the end of the year. Actually, this is her inspiration because once we said we're going to do it, she knew exactly. She said, oh, yeah, let's have it in the beginning of December and let's talk about endings and beginnings.
Beginnings and endings.
Beginnings and endings. But I wrote it as ending. Didn't I write it as endings and beginnings?
Nobody
Because something has
remembers.
to end before it can begin. But then again, something has to begin before it can end. We all understand.
Ah,
So,
okay. Oh, well, Carolyn's here.
yeah, see, we can see everyone now.
Yay. All these people. Which is the reason I'm here, so I can see all these people.
Yeah, it's good to see everybody.
Yeah.
So, endings and beginnings.
So we've noticed a lot lately that what happens is you think, or the mind comes up with a thought, and that thought somehow connects, which is what he was saying about how he didn't think about starting teaching again. We didn't, but we've been so busy gardening, and it's been a busy summer, and yada yada, all the things that keep
Yeah.
all of us busy in life. But then the invitation came.
Wham, just like that.
And so if they didn't give you a choice, there's no choice when those kind of invitations come. You just do it. You follow what the invitation is. And that's what's so exciting about this path for me. I mean, each day has so many of those. And it's only if you're clear enough, if
Mm.
you can be clear in your head and not like distracted by the outside world, you get to play with those and decide where you're moving to. So we've been doing a lot. And
And it's the end of the year.
it's the end of the year, so that's an end.
And that's a big one for us. The kids are still coming in. We've got three people who help us out, and we still have stuff to do. I think we'll finish it up on Saturday. But when you have a small farm, and we were able to donate a couple 100 pounds of produce and fruit to the food bank from our place this year. So, and that was a goal of ours, to be out in nature, but also to be of service. And so it's really exciting. So bringing our beautiful property and closing it. There's an ending. And I love walking. We've done trails up in the upper property. We love just going walking quietly and just taking in the fall coming into wintertime because things are ending. You can feel it. It's a pull to go inward. And Rod is here tonight so that she'll make sure I end my stories and don't go too far with them.
I get to poke them every once in a while.
So we're not alone. That was the other thing that Rod and I were talking about. We've recognized that as we're aging, the attachment to the physical universe lessens tremendously and really different. I can tell the difference now that I'm in my late 70s and going into 80s, both of us about the same. And I'm noticing the subtle things are more attractive. The things that aren't so big, they're much smaller. And what we realized is we're not alone. It only looks like, if you're operating through your mind, that you're separate from something else. But that's just this dimension. And with the practices and with the things that we're all learning, because we're all yogis, and it's wonderful to see everyone, by the way. That was part of the thing Rod and I were saying. We kind of miss our community. You know, it's really wonderful to connect in with all of you and just see your faces. And for many of us, we have long histories, and it's really nice at the end of the year to kind of celebrate that and say, we really enjoy being with you. So we're not alone. Where did I get that thought? It's time to start up again. That thought came. That thought was happening. Ah, see? So, Claudine, you're so psychic, you were actually sending it. That's probably what you did. However it happened, it doesn't matter. We're not alone. The yogis know that there is a subtle senses. It's a whole energetic field called the Tanmantras. It's a subtle energy field. The reason we don't call ourselves yogi is because yogi means something different. We're space gypsies. We kind of we fly in a different space because what came in that moment, however it came, I feel taken care of. I was supposed to do this. I'm really celebrating being with you and having Radha here and having the end of the year happening and the new year going to begin. We're not even going to get into all the other endings that are happening in our democracy. You know, no, we're not going there. We know that. All of us know that. All of us are conscious beings. But for a yogi, what's really important is that we maintain our own balance so that we can be in communication with each other psychically, or however that works, however, cosmic telos, Verizon, or whatever it is. But there's a communication system that's out there that I feel taken care of.
I think, it's interesting to me, I think that, we keep thinking we're separate. We keep thinking that there's others, that there's somebody is another. And really, if you look at the whole earth, everything's in communication with everything. And if something happens here, that affects what happens over here. And but we still have this ability to think that we're in our own little bubble, that whatever's happening to us is just happening to us. And that we forget that we're a part of the whole. And that in a sense, we are the whole. And that's such a freeing
Mhm.
feeling to know that there isn't loneliness, there isn't separation, there isn't division, there isn't anything that can really take that away. As long as we're clear and focused and
It's the thing.
connected.
Yeah, that's the
And
thing.
I think that's what, we both talk about a lot these days is staying connected
Hmm.
to our to that energy that keeps us in the whole, in communication with the whole. And
And thank you, Raja Yoga, for letting us know that that's beyond the limitations of the mental body that is designed to make us feel separate from other things so that we can play in this ever changing field. Endings, beginnings. So there's a constant dance of cosmic energy, Rajas Tamas Sattva, finer, but by the time it comes in there, it's getting more formed. And pretty soon, those three qualities, the Father, Son, the Holy Spirit, all the threes, Rajas, Tamas, Sattva, the way that the unified field divides itself into three so that it can interact with itself and create this entire universe we're sitting in. The mental field, the energetic field, and the physical field, physical dimension, are all those three gunas in some combination at different frequencies. Let those two and speed up the frequency, give it lots of juice, right? And then tamas, rajas, the beginnings, the middles, and the ends, because that's what those three do. There's always a beginning. It's in existence, it's gone. Beginning, middle, end. This dance that's going on is what creates our thoughts and our universe. So, Raja Yoga, if I were to ask you, what would you say is the one most important concept in the whole 196 sutras of Raja Yoga? And Stephen would say, Narod. Wouldn't you, Stephen? Yeah. Because we're meditators and we know we're only alone when we're identifying with the contents of our mind. That's when we feel alone. That's one of the symptoms of disconnection, like Radha was saying. Connected to what? Give it any name you want. I don't care. Have any concept at all of it. I'm with you. It's beyond the limitations of a subject object reality. And every time we go into it, all we feel is everything's okay. You can be in many dimensions simultaneously. You are. We're in a physical and energetic and a mental one right now. And the consciousness, the Chaitan, that's activating it all is present. That's another dimension. And we have two other bodies. We've got a bliss body and a knowledge body, the knower body. So, I mean, it's all a unified field. But if you're stuck in your ego, you can't travel all of those different dimensions simultaneously. That's what the great masters do. They're able to travel through all those dimensions and somehow keep it together. I haven't met one that did kept it together all the time, but nevertheless, I saw it being kept together and being connected and being guided by a consciousness and a knowledge that's just beyond the limitations of my personality and your personality. So Radha and I have been doing this experiment now for 50 years. Well, 48, 49. Yeah, 49, 48 married. And the experiment is let's follow Raja Yoga as best we can within the parameters of our own personalities and physical capacity. And let's see what happens as we practice Raja Yoga with the integral yoga, the Swami Satchidananda edition, which is essential. It's part of the whole lineage that I'm in. Serve others. Don't do it for yourself. You can have a good time. Have a good time. You can be prosperous. Be prosperous. Serve others. So that's what we've been doing. That's our experiment. And now, as we get older, as the gunas are vibrating, you can, through the practices, get them so the beginning, the middle, and the end happens synchronicity in its total harmony with your other bodies and the unified field. And they call that Kaivalya. Cool state. I like to be there all the time. I'm working on it. So that's what Rod and I do every day. These are our practices. So the question becomes, what are we doing to dance in the endings and the beginnings of our life? How are we doing? Anyone here not have an ending coming on something? Good, because you're going to have hours of talking to me about how you did that. Everything's ending. But there's a beginning afterwards because you can't create or destroy matter. And so how does consciousness, Chaitan, how does all of these bodies of ours who are constantly changing, we're changing every second. It's amazing. So it looks like all of this is solid and it's just beginnings, middles, and ends. What I'd like to do in the next couple months is share what Rod and I are talking about with you once a month. We'll just share, kind of tell you where we are and how it's going. We have a friend, we know some people who had a sudden end of health and went into the next stage of what you have to do when you're not in good health to create whatever's next, the next beginning. I don't want to be so attached to beginnings that I can't be with the endings. That's what we've been doing. It's too attached to, it's not even a beginning anymore. It's probably already ended, but you're holding it in your mind as if it's a beginning, which takes a lot of effort, I find.
I was just thinking how I remember when I first started this practice, we were talking with Sandra when we started about how long we've been doing the work, some of us for a long time, and how Stephen reminded her that it takes years. It's not like an overnight thing. But I was thinking how it isn't that you have to do anything. I always liked that Satchidananda said it's undoism we're practicing. So you're
Mm.
undoing all those attachments, all those things where how you see things as solid and separate and things that you have to control or do something about or make something new. And they just happen if you let them happen. And that's been my practice lately, and it's so much easier than feeling that you're responsible to make it all happen a certain way.
Yeah.
That you get so caught up in that, in the drama of living in this world and on this plane of existence, that you think you have to do something other than you're doing. And if you do your practice, that is the only thing that really changes it, because all the others are just beginnings and middles and ends. But a practice that really makes it flow together. So there isn't any, you don't feel that there's things that are ending really and beginning. It was funny, we had some children over and they helped us decorate the Christmas tree.
An annual occasion here on
Yeah.
Lavender Hill,
And there were 7 of them, a lot of kids in one room.
ranging from a year and a half up to 12, or is Rumi 13 now?
No, no, he's only 10.
Oh, 10, up to 10.
It was a lot.
So they were little ones. They are very busy little ones. The grandpa was here for the little tiny one, so I wasn't worried about the furniture or anything.
Or everything else, because we're not baby proof, as her grandparents know what that's about.
So what were you saying about the kids?
Well, it was just interesting, of course, along with that, there was a lot of breakage that was happening. As it happens when kids are doing circles. Our house has the
Took one of our
ability to do a
biggest,
circle.
fluffiest, what are those things called? Down-filled.
Yeah, we thought we
And we
had
had it all around for like 3 feet around the place. They could still find the gaps.
and things would break. And I thought about how in the old days, like I mean, I don't even know when it stopped being this way. I used to be attached to something as silly as a glass ball or a little glass ornament, like because of the memories that that held for me.
Mm. Yeah.
And it was like, oh no, when it got broken, it was like that was the end. Oh no, that memory was gone. Well, the memory isn't gone. I mean, as we all know, that's where you hold things. It's just like, people don't may pass, but they don't go away, not in your mind. They're still there in the memory that you have with them and the connection. And it was like I was watching things and I said, oh, well, that one went. And and it really didn't have the same effect. And it's the first time I've noticed it on such a material level. But I realized that that's part of what the yogic practice does,
That's our
the
practice.
non-attachment,
Exactly. Yeah.
because it's that non-attachment that allows you to let things end and let things continue if they need to, and then let them begin again. And it's that flow of, it's so obvious that everything around us is all beginnings, endings, and middle.
Temporary. Yeah.
It's all
Yeah.
temporary. That's how the world works. And yet we get so fixated on thinking that this is the only way it can be.
Which is why we wanted to do the endings beginnings as part of this, because this is what we talk about. Okay, hun,
Yeah.
she gets hit because probably I dropped something, but we actually had a kid do
He
it.
breaks it,
It's usually me breaking it. There's no doubt
but
about it.
that's just
That's why I can
specific.
get so unattached so easily. It's not mine usually either, or I don't have an attachment to it. But what's amazing is when one of us gets hit, we call it an issue activation. When one of us loses our balance, we're not connected now. We got we've got no incoming. All we got is our mind spinning. Intuition's out the window. Knower, there's no knower when you're upset. So what we do is we sit and we go, okay, that's ended now, right? Are we clear? This piece of whatever it was. Okay, now what is it that is so special about it? And we'll talk about that. Because it is. It's got something going on. Otherwise, we wouldn't be attached to it. And we've got stuff from. Do we have it anymore? Did it break? You think when we first got together? Is it?
What?
No, we don't have anything from the early years.
I don't-
Decorations on the tree.
Oh, decorations on the tree. Let me see. No, because the tree fell on the dog down in Florida. And so it was like that, so it ended all the beginnings.
So we don't have a whole bunch of stuff from the very beginning, but nevertheless, you can get attached to something new. So that still makes the same point. So what we do is we stop and say, okay, I'm attached to this. And now it's not what it used to be. And I'm having pain. Why am I having pain? Because the beginning of my relationship with it, it was this way. The end of my relationship with it, it's different. Where am I stuck? And we talk to each other like this. Sometimes we don't want to hear it from the other person, but most of the times we're pretty good.
Because it's not just material things,
No, can't be.
it's relationships, it's, everything changes. I mean, there must be, I mean, I know for us, we've been in what, 3 communities that Gary started, maybe 4 even at that point. But so we lose track of people. That's why I was so excited about seeing everybody tonight, because it's always fun for me to sort of see people I haven't seen for a while. But I've been writing actually Christmas cards this year. And that makes me go back in my mind and say, wow, I wonder what that person is doing in their life now. I wonder what's happening in their life.
It's been fun writing it because we write out little couple sentences on each one.
But people come into our lives partly because we've moved so much. And then people
Space gypsies, it's a thing
flow
that
out of our lives.
happens.
And if you aren't okay with that, then you're trying to hold on to things that don't exist anymore. And but it's so easy to get attached.
And when the mind is clear enough, so we have this exercise that Rod and I use. If either one of us are out of balance, whoever recognizes it first, and thank goodness we know each other well enough, she'll recognize it before I don't at times, and vice versa. But we trust each other. So, something as simple as you seem off balance, or, and then of course your mind goes to negative, no, but you catch that. And then what we do is we do our practices. We get our mind back so it's calm. We can do that. I mean, you're faster than me in sometimes, 10 minutes.
Sometimes I was going to
Sometimes.
say
Yeah,
all
well,
the time.
not all the time. Yeah, but 10 minutes, that's pretty good to go from a full spin to like in the road, clarity. And then, you know what's so wonderful about it? Every single time I've been upset, and I'm going to use with her because that's what we're doing tonight, but every single time when we do this, because it doesn't go far at all, it's brought us closer together, actually. But as soon as I do, my heart is wide open and I go, oh, that wasn't nice to say that. So I go over and I give her a kiss and I say, I'm sorry. And she does the same thing. I don't get the kisses often, but that's okay. I'm a kisser. All right. So beginnings, middle, and ends. Back to the point again. We're space gypsies. We're not human beings. Space gypsy to me is someone who kind of can flow with things and adapt and adjust and accommodate. And at our pay grade, we're on a need to know basis, so it's hard to plan ahead. But we're both pretty light on our feet and we can move and we do that because we do the practices. We're not alone. I want to tell you another story. This is remarkable. Sid, our friend, the one who got the 2 Emmys and works for what's that name of that? Gaia Network. He's one of their top producers. I love the story. He's been interviewing for 10 years, maybe a little less. Generals, Navy pilots, naval people, um, astrophysicists, and all of them have said that there is something that they don't know what it is, but it's there. And it comes and it goes. And it comes and it goes. UFOs. So that, there's all these things. Yeah, they don't even call that now. However, here's the latest theory on that. We live in a multidimensional universe. Whoa, what? That's Raja Yoga. Okay, this is what they're saying. And other dimensions, more advanced than us, can move through dimensions more easily when we can't do that. They know that. Wow. And these are all smart people. This is not a conspiracy theory. I wouldn't even say something if I didn't have all of the people's names and addresses, and you can go to them and hear them on YouTube. This is quite remarkable. Now, here's where I know. So they said, a naval pilot said, they have these objects that come up over missile sites armed with nuclear weapons. They go over, and this is now with many examples of this. This light or this thing appears, and the missile site goes inoperable. And then they go away, and the missile site comes back online. So here's what Sid told us. And you're all like us, so you should take this personally. He said, there's other dimensions, and they're more aware and they're more conscious. And when they come to get the bad guys, don't worry, because you guys are okay. They won't get you. It's just interesting. We're in a multi-dimensional universe. In the old days, and I know these techniques, I was taught these rituals. You do a havan, you do this fire ceremony, a puja, and you know exactly what to do and what mantras to chant. And what happens is, and it would be a yugya, it'd be a fire, right? And there's paintings of this. The dimensions came together and the angels just floated around real people. Angels, devas. It's a multi-dimensional universe. That comforts me. How do I stay connected? I get that gets my attention right away. There's these other consciousnesses around us to access it so we can guide. And through this really ever-changing world, the good news is this is the most difficult dimension to operate in. Not that it's a great solace or anything, but it's good news. It gets better.
I love when they found out that the trees talk to each other through the web of consciousness that with there's a tree consciousness in the soil
Yeah.
where one tree says, there's a disease in the trees over here and how to deal with it. Like I mean, we put it in terms of how as humans we see it, but they're all connected.
They're a community.
So the forest, there's a mother tree, and yeah, I'm sure Patty knows all about this being, working in gardens and things. She's here. And it's so exciting to me to think that the levels of communication are so deep and so vast, and that we get stuck in thinking. That's the only way I can.
Attached and identified.
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it.
Mm-hmm.
And don't really see the connections
Don't
and aren't open to it. Because when you take a walk in the woods, which is so wonderful up here where we live, that we get to walk in the woods all the time, and especially because the dogs want to go for a walk, there's just you can feel the energy. And different cultures have always said that, how important it is to get back to nature. And yet, we seem to get further and further away and more locked in to the bubble. And I think that that's where the yogic practices really come in to serve us and for us to serve them, serve others, because it makes us aware that there's so much that we don't know. And, our minds can come up with all sorts of ideas, spaceship ideas or anything.
Yeah, yeah.
However
There's
we
no way to prove that.
rationalize it all. But it's just such an amazing universe. We're so incredibly fortunate over and over every day. I'm just so appreciative of the fact that we exist in this life.
In different dimensions simultaneously.
Yeah.
We're not that is, but to do that, you have to master the beginning and the ends of things. You don't want to be attached to the beginning, and you certainly don't want to be attached to it ending. So part of the practice for us is to keep aware. Yeah, so we used the example of things breaking. Yeah. How about our own bodies changing? The people that we know, and they're beginning to pass, some of them, and some of them have passed. Those down in Florida who remember Vincent. Vincent left his body. So, I mean, beginnings, middles, and ends. Wow. If we can start getting a little bit more relaxed around this dimension, breathe into it, keep yourself eating properly, make sure you practice daily, keeping your mind resonating to a frequency which is beyond this dimension. Meditation. I'm really fortunate to have Radha because she's just like me. Neither one of us can go
Not really
that long without meditation. Well, around this, it's true though.
Right, it's true.
We have, because we're living together, I guess, so long, but you've heard me say this, when I need to meditate, I feel like someone's got a vacuum cleaner inside my head and they got it right at the other side of the eyeball and it's sucking me in. That's the sensation. We both have it. And so we'll say to each other, can we sit now? Oh, yeah, let's sit now. And we're sitting, and then an hour and a half later, we're back again after going to another dimension where things replenish and where there's it doesn't change as fast. Things there's actually a nice dimensions where nothing changes at all. It's infinite. It's even better than a calm mind. So the practices help me to get a clear mind and get connected. We're not alone. Now, when I say connected, the connection's already there. So let's be clear what I mean by connection. It's already there. You're already connected. The question is, what are you doing to not recognize and live from that connection? Ah, now we're into the juicy stuff. So, what is it that I think that creates an agitation, a spin in my mind? So I disconnect. I'm no longer vibrating and receiving. You know, one of the reasons giving is so important when you're doing these practices because it's a receiving. You don't go somewhere, there's nowhere to go, but you can get out of the way enough mentally so that you receive. Now, you receive, don't keep it for yourself, or you'll start acting like some of the people, and I can't go there. So, you receive and you give. In receiving, you take care of everything that is your karmic responsibilities and you give. Now you know how to dance with the physical plane, the ever-changing beginnings and endings that are going on all the time. All we have to do is clear the mind, know how to practice so you can train your mind to be completely waveless. It's called the road. On the road again. It's really one of my favorite songs. Um, yeah, I was getting too serious, so thank you. But when the mind is in that kind of stability, you can do anything with that mind to resonate and be receiving as you experience your life. Integration, integral yoga. Cool stuff.
Can we meditate now?
I was leading right to it. Did you hear that? No, good. No, she said, are we going to meditate now? And I said, I was leading right into it. So, for those who weren't there, close your eyes, but before you do, we're space gypsies. We're meant to fly through the different dimensions freely. We're meant to operate on this physical plane as an identity, as an ego, in complete harmony with everything around us. Look at it. That beautiful angel is just floating through the universe, guided by the currents of consciousness. So close your eyes and allow your breath to do what it wants to do to assist you in experiencing the road. And as you breathe, and as each moment you exhale, let go. This angel is floating because she's not doing anything. Her mind is a receiver and a transmitter of divine current. She is guided, she is led, she arrives at the perfect time, there is the perfect situation, and she receives the nourishment that right at that moment was necessary. We recognize the stillness. In the stillness I am, it is said. We float. We relax in the ever changing field and we train our mind to put its attention on the never changing field. Beyond your most peaceful thought is another dimension, coexisting, infinitely available. We just have to train our minds. Om Karam Bindu Samyaktam Nityam Dhyayan Yoginaha Karmadam Mokshadam Chaive Om Karaya Namo Namaha. Shanti. Om Shanti. Om Shanti Om. So pay attention. Notice the subtleties of the dimension you're experiencing. Breathe into it and take your time. The dance is subtle. If you remember to rub your hands and create some heat before you come out, and then gently transition back. I believe that putting your attention and understanding that there are different dimensions, one more subtle, one grosser, but they're just different expressions of that unified field. There is a consciousness that exists that is all knowing. It doesn't have a mind, so it operates at a level that we can't think about. We're not alone. Yeah, we have to use our minds. But on its own, it's got to spin out all kinds of yarns. No, you get your mind attuned to a knowledge, a consciousness that's available to all of us. Receive that, and you just know how to be in harmony with each moment. You don't do it, but Radha said it's undoism. So this beautiful dance in an ever-changing field, how to stay in balance, how not to get tumbled over, how to just be present to it and learn the lessons and experience what it has to offer you. The good, the bad, the ugly, whatever it is. Cancer. My poor leg has been under so many surgeries. I'm good old skin cancer. So it's an ever-changing field. But, however, we can have access to an encoded message called bliss that will guide us. What I don't like about when we get upset with each other and literally the minutes that is, what I don't like about it is I don't feel the unified field. Something's wrong. Something's really wrong. I'm not in that space. I'm out of it.
This can't be wrong when you're in the unified field. It's
No,
only wrong when
exactly.
it's when you aren't
Yeah.
connected. Otherwise, it's just another happening, just another passing, a beginning and an middle and an end.
And there's shocks in that beginning, middle, end thing. So as the mind gets into Narod, one of the things I used to do, because a teacher did it to me, so I get everyone into meditations and I would tell them to count how many thoughts they get in, let's say, a 20-minute, what did we have? Maybe a 12-minute sit together. So a 10-minute sit, let's say. I tell them to count their thoughts. And then you know what I would do? I would just make noise. Kaboom! I just say kaboom. And then at the end, they had to count how many thoughts they had. And then I said, can you tell me which thoughts you remember. A clear mind is going to experience things, but it stays clear and it's still the incoming awareness, intelligence, knowingness will still flow into us. So when our dogs protect our house, what they do is, when they heard the guy coming delivering something this late at night, is bark. The question is, did that raise you up off your seat, or did it just have a beginning, a middle, and end, and you stayed completely clear? Now that would be advanced. I won't have you raise your hand.
You know what's interesting about having a clear mind? One of the things I found has been fun is my intuition is like
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
there these days. And before we set to have the song with you guys, I said to myself, I don't know. I've seen a lot of delivery trucks on the island. I wonder if somebody's going to come and try to deliver something.
We had 2 deliveries today.
And yeah, and Gary said, well, basically the one was just a simple one. And I said, no, it can't happen. But that was my mind saying it can't happen. As soon as I got up, I heard the dogs bark. I knew what I had intuited was going to happen had just happened. And I just dealt with it because that's what you do. And it's just so interesting.
And she
to
can
me.
do it, and she does it so well that I can just stay in the space, which is really nice.
Not allowed. But yes, the dogs.
So let's open it up. You know, we're kind of going into the last bed, and of course the little one came back and jumped right up because Rada wasn't here. So Gracie is. Someone asked about how Gracie is. I think it was Sandra. Gracie's doing well. When we meditate, I yell for the dogs. I say, "Hey, we're meditating now." Wherever they are on the property, they come running. They come running into wherever room we're going to meditate, and they have their place in each of the places we meditate. They're out for the entire time, whether that's a half-hour sit or like today, an hour and a half. They're out. And then we get up and they're kind of spacey like we are, and we all kind of wobble a bit, but then, we go about our day. You do the, yes, you do. Yeah. So let's open it up. We'd like to hear from you about the things we're talking about. We're not alone. We're not alone. You can unmute, please, because we can't hear anyone unless they do.
Thank you for continuing with this, Gary. I really like being able to check in every once in a while with you, once a month at least. That's great.
So you didn't hear the story in the beginning.
No, I think I heard 2 stories in the beginning. Is that
Good. You were there then. Good.
No, I was there. Yeah, I reside.
The inspiration that made this happen tonight.
Yeah, I reside for 6 months on Gabriel Island working on a farm, like you. We have to sell part of the produce though to cover the agricultural taxation thing. But there's a lot of work, and my reflections, my meditations, my yoga is lessened in that I'm not setting the space out for it because it's happening. I'm sitting glancing at the ocean for half an hour. That's my meditation. I don't do anything. I just look at the ocean.
Yeah.
I may not be doing yoga, but I'm climbing up and down trees and crawling in a garden and getting into the most unusual positions you can imagine. So I live it. But then when I come back here in the city, this is where I need to start the practice again. And my husband joins me. He'll be 80, he'll be 79 in a few weeks. And he was the one that taught me how to do yoga. And we get up in the morning, have our water. We don't even leave the bedroom. We sit right then and there and make sure it's the first thing we do in the day. Then we both come down to do he won't do yoga with me, but he'll do his exercise, his stretching, his exercise, and I'll do the yoga. And then we start our day after that's done. And you're right. Things are a lot clearer when I'm in the midst of doing things. There's no hurriedness. It's like calmly active and actively calm. It's a nice place to be. And no, I don't have a lot of neighbors, family, or immediate friends, except for my dear Claudine, who would be able to converse on this level with me. So when you say we're not alone, I love touching in with you and all of your recordings on YouTube. Not just my husband has sat and listened to them with me, but my daughter as well.
Oh, nice.
And she's 33 and just getting into meditation and trying to deal with negative self-thoughts. So your teachings are really valuable to the whole family, and I appreciate having access to them. So I've listened to some of your talks, recordings over and over again. I'm glad they're there. Thank you. So when I have quiet time in the evenings during the summer, I can do that. But during the day, there's not a hope that I'm going to be able to structure my life as I do in the winter months.
And Suzanne, you know why what you just said is so important. Um, and thank you. Thank you. And it's so nice to know that the practices that we've done keeps us connected to a field of knowledge that goes back before even mine, probably, and that it comes through me in a particular fashion, and I get to experience it by sharing it.
Mhm.
And it's nice to get the feedback that the knowledge works.
Mhm.
You know, I love sharing it my own, whatever way it is I do it. I know there's a lot of hand movement, and I'm Italian, so there's that too. But it's not us, right? We're aware it's something that comes through. So thank you, thank you, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Mm.
And Carolyn, it's wonderful to see you because we were just talking about you 2 minutes before you came on because Sandra was saying, "How's Carolyn?" Yeah, good to see you.
It's really a blessing to see everybody. Mwah. So I'm um the one thing that comes through for me loud and clear is I don't know if it's an age thing. Um it's probably a combination of age, the years of practices, everything that I do, um, the meditation, Tai Chi, yoga, breathing, all of it. I seem to have a deeper sense of knowing that I'm not alone. Really, I don't
Yeah.
know. It's just again, the older I get, the more connected I feel to the whole.
Yeah, that's what.
Um, and it's just very calming and very peaceful and there's just a knowing, you know. You know, there's a knowing.
I know.
So I'm grateful that I had the courage and the commitment to follow through on everything that I learned with you and continue to learn every single day. And I just don't stop because the reward is amazing. And you know, the beginning, middle, and end, it's like I have a saying for the past 30 years. I have no beginning and I have no end.
Mm.
Mm.
So I don't even relate to that beginning, middle, and end because I don't and the older I get, it like it just flows one into the other.
Mhm.
Yep. And when there's no beginning and there's no end, then the vibration of that, the sound of that is Amaram hum, Maduram hum. There's no end, there's no beginning. It's just all right. It's all infinite.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
thank you.
Oh,
Wow.
mwah. Thank
Nice to
you.
see you.
Nice to see you.
Well, Gary, I'm really glad that I sent you this message just at the right time. It's amazing. It's really show the connection
Yeah.
feel with you guys and with everybody to be able to think about it and go to my computer and send the message at the right time. And I'm really grateful, actually, to Susan as well. I sent two messages to you. I don't know which message was the connection, but I know Susan asked me as well, have you heard about Gary and Gopal and Rhoda? That's how we call you. And we connected and we said we have to find a way to connect again. So I'm really grateful to your teaching. I missed it. I really did miss it. But so I'm really thrilled that you are going to do it again once a month. And it really, how can I say that, reboot my consciousness. It's a
That's a good word.
Perfect.
Oh, yeah, good word. Yeah.
when I forget and get caught in everyday life. But
Mhm.
I do yoga every day, and that really helps. And I have yeah, that's a really wonderful way for our body and our mind to really feel the oneness of everything. Anyway, so thank you so much. I'm really grateful to both of you.
Welcome. And the reason that two reasons that we have not done it through the last one, which I think was April, um, was yes, we're on a property where people come visit us a lot, and we have this opportunity to be with a lot of people and run the property. So it's a wonderful, but that's easy. That's very easy now. We've been here 10 years. We got that down. We have help. I've been writing. And so the Swami and the Married Woman is no longer something when you hear, you go, oh, yeah, right. I remember when you started that 30 years ago, which I did. But it's a few chapters from being done, and I'm really excited. And what's really exciting, because it took a lot of time, I'm putting a lot of time in, and it's the kind of project that I'll be living a certain experience that happened and I wanted to capture it in the book. And so I'll just live it and then I'll sit down and I'll write for 10 minutes and I'll put a paragraph out and feel it and then come back to it. It's this wonderful learning how to be a writer. So that's what I've been doing. So we're hoping when our 50th anniversary that that's in year and a half, just about 2 years. Anyway, that we're going to have a big party. We have to have a big party. We like big parties. So like tent party with Indian food, buffets and stuff like that kind of party. And live music so all the people we know with can come and share and be here. And then we can give a book away. So I'm hoping to have that all set so we can hand you a book when you come and we can party. So yeah, I've been writing. Yeah, it's been wonderful.
It's great. It's so interesting. We had also this summer, just for people who didn't know, Martine, who
Oh,
has
right,
come
yeah.
to some of the classes online, was living in Montreal. We met her in Vancouver.
Many years ago, 12,
Right.
13
And
years
she
ago.
went back to Quebec to study and with her daughter they came out here to live on Salt Spring.
And they lived with us for 2 months.
Yeah, so they were living here for 2 months.
I got to see what it's like to have a 12-year-old. It's interesting. It's very interesting.
So yeah, so we were pretty busy, but it would be nice actually with Claudine, it would be nice for her to connect sometime with
Oh yeah, we can do
Martine.
that.
Because Martine, though she speaks English,
Her English is getting better.
it's getting
She
better.
grew up in Quebec.
Right, but she would probably really enjoy knowing someone who has been doing this work for as long as you have, Claudine, and speaks French and because she misses words. That's her biggest problem is the vocabulary.
Mm.
And so yeah, maybe sometime we'll get to connect you, more connections.
But it was really wonderful to have her on the island, and the way the people on this island, we were able to find her a place and get things set up, and the furniture all appeared, and it was a wonderful thing. So that took some
Interesting
time
how
too.
much furniture shows up on the curb. I'll tell you, it isn't the curb, it's the side of the road here.
Yeah, there's no curves.
but it is interesting. We found a lot of things and repurposed.
And the reason I mentioned about the book is because some of these satsangs, we're going to read you a chapter. So we'll do a chapter in the book. It's cathartic and amazing to just put yourself in a position to be the knower of your life. So, new year coming. We'll send out something. It'll be probably towards the middle to the end of January. We're driving down, so we'll get settled down there, and then we'll have another satsang with you. New year, arbitrary, I understand, but it's a nice little marker. May we all have health and peace, and our peacefulness affects the craziness that is unfolding around us.
Don't want to miss the opportunity, Gary, of you being in touch with my daughter and son-in-law in Carmel. So however you need to
Email
create
me
that.
and we'll connect.
I don't, what's your email address?
I'll email you. I have your email.
Okay, all right. I also wanted to show you this.
Put it up.
Yes. You see it?
Oh,
Oh, right, The Hidden Life of Trees. That's a
Yeah.
great book.
And I've read it 5 times.
Yes, great.
When Rada mentioned it, I said, yeah, I
yeah,
know
right.
that.
I noticed.
Do you remember the woman who sat up in the trees in California and they wouldn't let him cut it down?
No.
Yes.
Yeah, there was a
Her
big
name was
deal.
Julie Blue.
That's it. Yep, there she is.
Very
good.
Well, her lawyer is our best friend's wife, and
Oh, wow.
is she something to reckon with?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
That
Sure
was-
is.
Secret Life of Trees. Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
wonderful.
Take care, everyone. We'll be back soon.
And Patty
Thank
too
you.
with us.
Hey, bye.
Take care.
Too.
Ciao, ciao.